Oh my god. Oh my god. I am so sorry. Wrong bathroom. Wrong bathroom. Hitman Absolution is a stealth action game developed by IO Interactive for the PS3, 360, and PC. It's the first Hitman game that I've ever played, and coming into it I was told to expect very slow-moving, stealthy gameplay. Unfortunately, what I got is a very action-oriented game. It sets aside all of the stuff that you would normally expect from a stealth game and tells you to focus on shooting the place up. It doesn't want you to be stealthy, but it tells you you have to be in order to get the most points. Does this completely ruin the game? Or does the more action-heavy focus give it some new life? Find out in my mighty review of Hitman Absolution.
Presentation.
This being my first Hitman game, I was hoping for some kind of introduction to the story of the franchise, especially considering that this was its debut game in the previous generation of consoles. Unfortunately, I found that the game was very unkind to new players. It's never a good sign when I have to look up the stories of the series' previous games in order to understand this one. Still, I'll do my best to explain. The Hitman series is about Agent 47, a clone created to be the perfect assassin. He works for the International Contract Agency, or ICA. As such, he appears to be a cold, emotionless brick. His handler is a woman named Diana Burnwood. Over the years, they have worked together at the ICA, mostly just killing people. That's it. That's the story so far, and that I couldn't get by just playing the game, which is kinda sad. Still, that's all we need to know for now. Hitman Absolution begins with Agent 47 being sent on a mission to kill Diana after she left him for dead during a previous mission and she exposed the ICA to the public. He is also tasked with bringing a girl named Victoria back to the agency. After seemingly killing Diana, 47 promises her that he'll keep Victoria safe from the agency. Wow, he pulled a hell of a 180 there, huh? Oh yeah, no, I'm just gonna kill you, no big deal. Oh wait, you need me to do you a favor? No, I got this. Yeah, you stay right there, I'll take care of it. Still, it's made clear that he does this to protect Victoria from the torturous experiments and training he was put through when he was groomed to be the assassin he is today, because she is a clone as well. The rest of the game involves 47 either dropping Victoria off at random locations and then going out to get information on the ICA, trying to get Victoria back from the bad guys who kidnap her, or just trying to stay alive when being attacked by those who were sent to kill him. In addition to 47 protecting Victoria from the agency, which is being led by Travis, the man who secretly cloned her, and the man who sent 47 to kill Diana, he also protects her from a man named Blake Dexter, who wants to kidnap Victoria and sell her to the highest bidder. So what do I think of the story? Well, it's alright. The plot does take us to unique locations which are really neat to see in a game, such as a wrestling match, a nightclub, and a Hawaii-themed resort, with this guy.
And welcome to the Waikiki Inn! Would you care to register, sir?
Ben Franklin.
Oh! Right this way, sir.
I freaking love this guy.
Tiki Lounge. Happy hour is from 5 to 8 in the Tiki Lounge. Mai Tais are 2 for 1, pina coladas are...
Anything less festive.
Can I bring a bottle to your room, Mr. Franklin?
Something brown.
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe not that much. And the side characters are really zany and wacky, which is good in a game where the main character is so stoic, though Victoria is really boring. She's treated like Princess Peach, either being taken somewhere safe or rescued by 47 throughout most of the story. In games like Mario, this works because the story is an insignificant portion of the game and it gives you a goal to achieve. But in this game it comes off as lazy writing, especially after having played games like The Last of Us, where you escort Ellie instead of Victoria, and that is fantastic. The plot is interesting though, with a death triangle forming between the three main groups, 47 and Victoria, Blake Dexter, and Travis in the ICA. But it's just kind of all over the place in terms of describing exactly what's going on to the player. If you want to understand what's happening, you have to actively seek out information. During half of my assassinations, I legitimately had no clue why I was killing the person I was targeting or how they related to the story. The game does look pretty though. Water and rain effects in particular look very nice, and the CGI cutscenes are very pleasing to look at. The music is very well composed, and it goes from a dark, brooding string symphony reminiscent of the Dark Knight movie trilogy, and it can have some dance tunes or rock tunes thrown in to be a little bit more entertaining when it needs to be. The game is voice acted very well too. Whether a character needs to be over the top goofy or completely serious, the voice actors tend to nail it pretty well. However, that does bring me to my biggest problem with the story. The tone is completely inconsistent. Let me explain. Hitman is a game that doesn't know whether it wants to tell the player it's a serious story with dark, gritty characters in a dark world, or a story that pretends to be serious and has goofy characters to prove that it's all a joke. It goes from having 47 talk about how letting a girl go through the same pain and suffering that he did after he killed the one person he actually cared about, to nuns dressed in spandex shooting a bazooka through his hotel window.
Go with God, motherfucker.
In games like Metal Gear Solid, these goofy things happen outside the plot, allowing for a break from the serious tone while not taking away from the main story. In this game, however, the goofy moments and characters are the ones to drive the plot forward, and it detracts from the serious tone set by the nature of the story. Overall, it's an okay plot to drive the game to interesting locations with a couple of good funny moments, but the dramatic parts probably aren't going to resonate with many people.
Gameplay!
The gameplay of Hitman Absolution, much like its story, is very indecisive about what it wants to be. I went into the game thinking I'd get a good stealth experience, but in the end usually just wound up shooting the place up to get rid of my targets. Why? Because the other methods weren't laid out very well. Now look, I don't mean to brag, but I can solve a puzzle or two. I should be able to look around and see some of the different methods of killing my targets based on the hints in the rewards section, or at least one or two of them, but a lot of the time I had a theory that would have worked in the real world, but since it's not one of the game's very few options for disposing of my prey, I can't do it, which is really disappointing. With the limited options given to you, it makes the game seem much more shallow than it actually is. Also, sneaking around is difficult when any person wearing the same disguise you got from someone you knocked out can detect you very quickly. Why? Why can't I just walk up to somebody wearing the same costume I am, tell them, hey, I'm the new guy, and then be done with it? Furthermore, why does every chef recognize that I'm not one of the usual chefs, but the waiters are completely clueless? Overall, it just makes stealth more tedious than fun, and while it is satisfying to pull off a complex kill, it's not always worth the time, effort, and retries it takes to achieve them. So I had a tendency to stick with gunplay. The downside? You lose points for fucking everything in this game. Kill a guy, you lost points. Fine, I get that. Knock a guy out, you lose points. Why? Heal, wake up later. The game never gives you a reason for this or much justification for any of the points it does give out. Also, for a game set on having a skillfully laid out plan to elaborately kill a target, why don't people wake up? I can KO someone, throw them into a shed, and they will never wake up. It's just odd. A perfect example of the game driving the player into an action-oriented playstyle is about halfway through. 47's guns have been taken away, and to get them back you have to win a shooting contest. Let me repeat that. You have to win a shooting contest halfway through the game. This is boring. Shooting contests are fine in tutorials because they allow the player to get acclimated to the control scheme of the game and adjust whatever they need to before sending them off into the world. You don't put it halfway through your fucking game! With all that being said, you probably think I hate this game, but really, it's fun. I like sneaking around, I like the slow motion camera when I want to pull off the perfect shot, I like getting into someone's costume and walking through like a character in The Walking Dead who's been covered in zombie guts. It's fun, it controls well, and it can be rewarding. I just wish the game rewarded my particular playstyle of wanting to mix action and stealth in the point system. It seems like the only way to get a lot of points is to go completely stealth or completely guns blazing. Also, this is a thing you can do. It's dumb, it's silly, and I fucking love it. You can just shoot somebody, and you can just leave them there, and then wait until the next guy comes, and then the next guy, and then the next guy, until you completely clear out a room. I definitely recommend trying this out if you get this game.
Mighty conclusion!
Overall, Hitman Absolution is a fun game. It's got funny characters, it's got an okay, passable story, and the stealth gameplay, when it works, is really fun. Unfortunately, it's bogged down by issues with the gameplay and almost forcing action upon you. If you're looking for a good stealth game and don't mind some action almost being thrown into you, then you might like Hitman Absolution, and you can get it for like $5 nowadays, which isn't that bad. But if you're looking for a solid stealth game that sticks to its roots, I would recommend skipping this one. That's why my mighty review score for Hitman Absolution is 7 sexy nuns out of 10. Now if you'll excuse me, I have some business to take care of. Oh my gosh. I am so sorry. Again? Really?